Cheers, guys. Epix911, welcome to the Elitist Geek. In this video, I want to talk about Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain for the PC. This isn't a review, let me say that up front. I haven't finished the game, and yes, I'm completely aware that there's a lot of controversy out there about the ending of the game. I will do a proper review when I've finished the game, but for now, let's just talk about the game where I'm at, which is approximately 4 to 5 days, representing about 20 plus hours of gameplay. And that experience is that it's been overwhelmingly positive. Now, there's nothing that pisses off an elitist PC gamer more, and I say that tongue in cheek, even though I know PC gamers can have elitist attitudes, and I once did too. There is a certain sense of entitlement when you plunk down 2 to 3 times the amount of a console owner on hardware. You expect said hardware to frickin' deliver, and when it doesn't, you get rightfully pissy. The last few AAA titles that have been released have really pissed me off. Batman Arkham absolutely pissed me off. It did not deliver. Assassin's Creed, last few versions of that have been just fucking horrible, which boggles my mind because we're talking in the case of Batman, Unreal Engine. This is an engine, Unreal 3, that has been around for years. It's not frickin' rocket science to optimize it. And yet you have a game where you crank the stuff on high. Now, yes, I know it has a high ceiling, but honestly, you play Metal Gear Solid 5, Batman doesn't hold a candle to it in terms of gameplay beauty. It is a beautiful game, and it runs smooth, silky smooth. In fact, with my Crossfire rig system, which is 290, I have a small complaint in that it doesn't seem to be taking advantage of the Crossfire optimally, which I've kind of gotten used to. Just like I was used to my NVIDIA days of having SLI, it being fairly quickly addressed, if not at launch, it was already working. The opposite of that is what I've come to expect with AMD, which is we'll fix it when we kind of get to it, but it's not our release day, priority. But Metal Gear 5 absolutely delivers in the graphical department. I have everything on absolute max, and only a handful of times have I dropped into the low 50s. It's been a solid 60 frames per second since, and that's running at 1920 by 1080p. I haven't tested it on a 4K system just because the only 4K capable monitor that I have in the house is a 50-inch TV. It's a smart Samsung Smart TV. Is currently being used in the bedroom for late night movies. When I get the gaming mecha downstairs all built, I will have a 75-inch 4K TV, which I will then test it on and let you guys know how I make out with the benchmarks and a proper review. But for now, 1080p, absolutely no issue. Again, I have yet to see the incompleteness that a lot of people talk about at the end. I'm not going to get into any spoilers, but the few missions that I've done so far have been absolutely fantastic. It's been a lot of fun. There's one part of the game where and fast forward about 30 seconds if you don't want to hear this. It's not a spoiler, it's just an observation, because it's not unique to this game in the series, and a lot of games do that. XCOM, same idea, the building of a base. And what Metal Gear Solid, the way you train is absolute comic genius. I mean, if you don't bust the gut during the brief in-game tutorial, which I think is mission 3, you're not human, because it is some funny shit. And anyways, had a really good time with that. Pet peeve of mine is the fact that the devs felt the need, and I'm not going to say his name, okay, Hideo, to announce the director and the programmers every opportunity they get. And when I say every opportunity, I mean every opportunity. The beginning of a scenario, the end of a scenario, the beginning of the next scenario, the end of that scenario. I'm about 5 missions in, and I have been reminded at least 12 times through fourth wall breaking credits that appear on your screen who the dev team is. And you know, I don't give a shit. Stop it. That's a pet peeve. You don't need to hammer it to death. We know it's a work of art in your opinion, and we know you're going to be in the employment line looking for a new job, and you're probably not going to be in the employment line long. But we get it. We know who you guys are. You don't need to hammer us with it, because it does break the immersion of a good game when you're constantly reminded with credits that this is a game you're playing. So stop that. I'll let you guys know if that continues to the end, but so far it has not abated. Like, I'm serious. It's there every single mission, start and end. Calm again. Really the only negative. If you have one of these, an Xbox 360 controller, no problem. You are going to be able to play the game just fine. Usually I play first-person games, mouse and keyboard. Over-the-shoulder games, I tend to play with a controller. So Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Metal Gear Solid, Assassin's Creed, Devil May Cry, etc., they get played with a controller. Truly first-person games, I will play mouse and keyboard. Something like Skyrim, where it's not over the shoulder, I will play mouse and keyboard. So there you go. What else are my observations? Music and sound has been terrific so far. Like I said, some good comedy they've thrown in there during the tutorials that definitely takes the boredom out of the tutorial. A couple of groaners. You're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. The one inventory item that I'm talking about. Yeah, that was a bit of a facepalm. But whatever. You look past that. So far, it's a game that delivers on all fronts. Graphically, design-wise. The first few missions can get really intense. The same complaint that I have with stealth games in general, and trust me, Metal Gear Solid is not limited to this, is the ability to run away from encounter and then reintegrate yourself into the encounter. You know what I mean? Where, shit, you've been spotted. You hustle out of dodge as quickly as you can go, wait for shit to calm down, and then proceed to go back in. In real life, that just would not happen. They would be much more relentless in pursuing you. And yes, I realize it's a game, but these are improvements we can make to AI, people. And barring that, the AI should set up more of an anticipatory net to catch you in. So, for example, if you constantly come in from the west and then flee to the west, the AI should be stronger in the west. It should set up some traps for you. It should be a bit more aware, and your chance of failing stealth should be much higher. That's how I see it. You may or may not agree, but like I said, it's overwhelmingly been positive. The constant credits nag is a negative. The AI, and again, not limited to just Metal Gear Solid, is a negative. But the positives, graphics so far, level design, AI in other areas is terrific. Fluidity of this engine is probably just the top compliment I can pay this game. In fact, I wish the Fox engine wasn't a proprietary engine, because there are a lot of games. Like, I could completely see Batman Arkham Knight running on the Fox engine. There is nothing in the Fox engine that, you'd look at the Unreal Batman and say, well, it couldn't handle this. Absolutely not. It can handle everything I've seen in Batman with a Fox engine. So hopefully this gets some licensing life beyond just Metal Gear Solid, because it would be a shame to have this stagnate and sit on a shelf after this game goes the way of the dodo bird. Mine's not super special. Two R290s in Crossfire, 16 gigs of RAM, mediocre i5 processor, and really gigabyte motherboard. That's about it. So nothing astronomical in terms of a main PC gaming rig. Let me know what your thoughts are. Do you agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comments below. As always, guys, till the next video. Cheers.